Of Mississippi Families and Allies. I just want to say welcome you all to our 6th annual community partnership celebration. It's truly an honor to have you all here. Back away from? Okay, I'm sorry. And so, again, welcome. And if you could you please come over into this area? We're going to get ready to start, please. And at this moment, I'm going to turn it over to Joy. Again, thank you all for being with us on our 6th annual Community Partner Celebration. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, did I mess it up?
All right. There we go.
Okay, am I good? Can everyone hear me? All right. Well, thank y'all for being here. I think everyone knows we keep this pretty warm and friendly and casual, we hope. If you haven't had a chance to get some food, you're more than welcome to get it or drink at the bar. And I want to welcome you on behalf of Families as Allies. It is always so exciting to see all of y'all here. And I want to acknowledge some of you who have helped make this night possible. First of all, our board, and thank you, George, for introducing the evening. And then our sponsors. I'm not sure if anyone here is from Youth. Is Youth Villages here yet? Okay. So Youth Villages, Hapax Communications, who you can see they're communicating right now, Chastity Torrance, and Corey Jackson. And we really, really appreciate everything you do to support our organization. And the fact that you have gotten a whole table full of psychiatrists here tonight. Thank you. And I'm glad y'all decided on which table you really like. So thank you. And we're very glad to have all of you here. We also want to thank all of our hosts, and all of you are listed in the program. And we hope you'll take a few minutes to look over your program and really thank all of the people who supported this evening. And none of this work would be possible without our very, very devoted staff. So I want to mention all of them. And our staff does tend to get a little competitive with each other. So I want you to know I listed the names in alphabetical order. So it's not about who I like best. So Dominic DeLeo, Henry Moore, and I'm not sure if everybody's in here. Henry Moore, is he in here? Oh, Henry, we just introduced you. Yeah. Karina Price, who I don't think is here this night. She works in Hattiesburg. Tara Roberts, and then Sheldon Smith, who is outside. And then Monica Weber does a lot with us too. So I really, really appreciate all of you. Sometimes, and I just want to talk for a few minutes about Families as Allies, sometimes people wonder, what are y'all doing over there? What is Families as Allies? And we've spent a lot of time thinking about that, who we are, what we do, and then working with a lot of you and families across the state to make sure that we're defining that in a way that really matters and is really meaningful. So we want you to know in the simplest way that what we really do is we believe in families, because we are families. And we're families, all of us, are either raising or have raised a child who had some sort of challenge. And we know that when those challenges happen, the best person to help that child was, first of all, that child, and also their family. And we know that families know their child better than anyone. We know families are their child's best advocate, and we believe that systems should follow laws and policies about our children's rights. So those are the things we focus on, and we find that those beliefs really lead us to support our mission, which is that families are partners in their children's care. Now, sometimes people think that means we go around and make families do stuff. That's not what we mean. We mean that we know our children better than anyone, and that when we're involved with everything that happens with our children from the very beginning, whether it's something in their own, for them, in their own care, or the way programs are set up, or the way systems are set up, that when we're there from the very beginning, those things work better. And that's what we mean. And we call that family-driven practice. We do that in two broad ways. First of all, we support each other as families. We help families, we support them in advocating for what they want for their child and understanding what their rights are. And then we bring families together to help make the systems better for all of our children. A lot of amazing things have happened this past year in that regard. We highlight some of them in this impact report, and I know everybody can read, so I won't read to you. But I just want to highlight some different things that happened in different areas that we're really, really excited about. One is we've been able to do a lot more parent-to-parent support in more and more arenas. Typically, our organization has focused on when families are in a crisis and things have gotten really bad. We still do that. We will always do that. But we've had these opportunities to move into areas like, say, a child ends up living with their grandparent because their parent is struggling with something. We've been able to help develop support for those grandparents. We've been able to develop parent-to-parent support in the healthcare system, and we're doing more with the very, very young children. So instead of just focusing on mental health challenges, what we're really focusing on is positive mental health as part of health for all children, and we're very excited about that. And as that's happened, we've gotten to work with more and more providers and do more and more training with people already working with children, primarily teachers, and then mental health providers, and starting to do a little bit with healthcare providers. So we're very excited about that. Then we've also gotten a chance to do more things this past year at the system level, including doing a lot more training of families, so that with leadership training for families so they can serve on committees. So I know some of our state system partners are here. If you have committees that you need families to be on, and we feel like they should be on every committee that you have, we've got families who are prepared and ready to do that. We've also done had more and more opportunities to help design programs from the very beginning. We did that with what I was talking about when a child ends up living with a grandparent or another extended family member because for whatever reason their family's struggling a little bit to take care of them. That's called kinship care. We helped do a study across the state with a research group about if we were going to develop support in the state for those families, what would that look like? We also, and I'm not sure if anybody's here from UMC's CHAMP project, don't see them yet, but we are helping them with, help them design some telehealth support that they're doing for primary care physicians from the very beginning, and we really appreciate those opportunities. So we're very excited about all the things that have happened this past year, and again, you can see the highlights in our impact report. Now, you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't have been invited here tonight if we weren't going to ask you to help and to partner in all this exciting work. There's some very basic ways you can be a part of this and help us. One is funding. The back page of your impact report shows what we're able to do with a $1,000 donation and how we can leverage that to help a lot of families and bring about change and, at the system level and also train providers. In-kind services can also be really helpful to a small nonprofit like ours. So if you are, and you'll hear more about that from one of our award winners tonight, if you have a service or something you can do that you might be willing to donate part of your time to do that, that can be very helpful to us. You can also help people understand what we do. We sometimes people think we're that place where you call and get you an advocate. That's not what we are. Now, we do help families with advocacy, but we're a place that really believes in family-driven care and practice, and we partner with families to help them get what they want. And we know that with the right kind of support, they can advocate for themselves. And also, and I think many of you have already helped us a lot with this, or we wouldn't all be here tonight, help us build relationships in the community with groups that might want to know more about this work and partner in it. So those are things we ask for you to consider. If you do want to donate tonight, Sheldon has the cards and information out at the table and can assist you with that. But I want to thank all of you again for being here and being open to this work, and also for your partnership with us. So thank you, and I think everyone here should give yourselves a round of applause. Every year, we recognize groups and individuals who have partnered with us in some very special ways the previous year. We have 4 core values that all of our work is built on, and that will be in your impact report. And the people we honor each year are people or groups that have worked with us on something in the previous year that exemplified one of those core values. And our first core value is caring for every child and family. And you know how they say a picture speaks 1,000 words? We're going to do a video that we think speaks more than 1,000 words, and it's from our first award winner. So we'll watch that briefly, and then we'll do our first award.
When I was 10 years old, I was a very studious child and very active. I was just always out in nature with my grandfather, which is the person, what you see is what you get. I wasn't very focused in school. My grades were plummeting, and the teacher contacted my mom and she said, something is up with Caitlin. My mom contacted a therapist, and it came down to the conclusion that I had anxiety.
And the Miss Natchez Trace crown goes to Caitlin Brown.
Kindness for me taught me a lot of perseverance and confidence. It made me overcome a little bit of my anxiety that I battle with each and every day. But it also gave me an outlet to help others through my platform being in mental health awareness. My grandfather passed. My brother Rex was there for me. He was very supportive. And I think that's what you need in a person, is that if you want them to carry you and be a supportive person, they've got to carry you through the good and the bad, and that's what he did for me this concert. My plans are to become Miss Mississippi one day and to just reach other children nationwide about mental health and just to help them conquer. So all the children out there who are struggling, fight the fight and always know that there's help out there. Children's mental health is a real thing. The best way to support a child is to support their family.
So Caitlin Brown is Miss Presley Heights this year, and she's running for Miss Mississippi. She was a finalist last year. We're very proud of you, Caitlin. And she came to us and wanted to know something she could do with her mental health platform to work together, and did this video with us. And we're very grateful. And for that, you're receiving this award.
So I'm a short and sweet type of person, so I'm going to keep it very short and very sweet. I cannot think of how much gratitude and how much thankfulness that I was so expressing when I did this PSA for them. So I thank Miss Joy, Mr. Dominic, and Bryce, who was amazing. I got a little lost on the way to making this video, but we made it work. On the Natchez Trace that I was actually representing. So this past year I got lost on the Natchez Trace that I should have known about. But I'm just so excited and I'm just so honored to receive this award tonight. I am just very thankful for quotes that's always come in my life. My mother, she always expressed that I need one quote to stand by. And so my quote today is by Gandhi. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. When I was 10 years old, my world was shaken, obviously by anxiety. I didn't know or what to think about it. I didn't know what it was going to take place next in my life, and I always look at it as a crutch and a burden. I never thought of it as an advantage. I always thought of it as a disadvantage. And when God opened the door into me doing Miss Mississippi, I had no clue what I was doing my first year. I always say that I was a hot mess express, and I will stand by that. Just going on stage and talking in front of a mic, but also in front of people, and honestly, like they say, solving the world's problem in 20 seconds by answering a question. I was nervous about that because I didn't know how people was going to perceive me or what their opinions were. So you can only imagine what we think about when we're standing up there and they asked us, what do we feel about national debt or illegal immigration or just tough situations like that. That's why we get nervous. And that was one thing that was with me. I didn't know what I was going to do with my platform, and I always had a very strong connection with mental health because I experience it each and every day. And so when I got connected to NAMI, which is National Alliance for Mental Illness in Mississippi, I then got contacted with Miss Joy. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I did, because I don't know what I would have done to expand my platform this year if it wasn't for Miss Joy. So I thank you so much for that. So hopefully I will have a bigger crown on my head next June for Miss Mississippi 2020. I always say 2020 is a spectacular year. It's going to be a fabulous year because we're going to have a new president as well. So that's exciting. I just think just new things, new beginnings. I'm always that kind of girl. But I'm just so excited to see what our Miss Mississippi does this year at Miss America, because it is 2.0 now and it is a new system. So I'm really excited for our Miss Mississippi this year. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Caitlin. And we hope her PSA is on our website. We hope you'll share it far and wide. And I also want to thank, where's Polly? Polly Tribble? Is she still here? Oh, she had to leave. Okay, she's the executive director of Disability Rights. They helped sponsor this. And so did the Association of Mississippi Peer Support Specialists. And your donations from last year helped make this film too. So we were very excited. And I know Caitlin is very willing to talk about mental health and work on policy and talk with legislators about this whole thing. So y'all find her and help her in this good work.
Let me get on Capitol Hill,
Yeah. Yeah, she's ready to go to Capitol Hill. And I'm not sure if Capitol Hill will be ready for you, but they need to get ready. You've been great, Caitlin, and she's done a great job at our Capitol. So our next award is for excellence. And I mentioned that we've had some real opportunities to start with planning programs from the very beginning. We had a wonderful opportunity, and it actually started with two people who are here, Dr. Dorothy Young and Julio Cespedes. And Mississippi, along with a lot of other states, had this opportunity, and if I slaughter my description of this, just be patient with me, had this opportunity to apply to use Medicaid dollars in a different way with children, to use the same amount, but to use them differently to see if they could get better outcomes with the same amount of money. And this project is called the Integrated Care for Children and Kids, and it's like a demonstration project. Mississippi applied, and it started at Medicaid with Dr. Dorothy Young, and she was working with Julio Cespedes. And I think Dr. Young was the first one who approached me, and they came to us to see if we would help. And so we gave lots of feedback from the very beginning about what this project needed to be like. And some things changed, and Dr. Young is now with the Department of Health, and Julio took on more of this work. And so those of you who know me, if you ask me my opinion, you know that I'll give it. And so we gave a lot, and well, first of all, they did a very good job having families at every single planning meeting they had, and we worked with them on that. And then we gave a lot of feedback about the way the proposal was written. And where is Julio? Okay. I really have to hand it to you, Julio. If for any of you who have ever turned in a major grant, on the day it was due, I'm pretty sure, or else it was the day that UMC said you had to get it to them. I had given all this feedback, page after page, and he was in our office sitting next to me in the conference room saying, did I really understand what you meant on this page? And I have to tell you, I don't know if I said this that day, Julio, but I would not have done that for me. You were just amazing how committed you were, and all the ideas you had. And I think, and I know we still don't know what's going to happen with that application. There's some signs of hope, which look really good. But we are so grateful to you, first of all, for what a good job you did on that application, but that you did it in complete partnership with families. So you are receiving that award for excellence. If you would like to come on up.
I'll just say something really brief. I like to say that Mississippi is the summer camp that never ends. I've met my best friend's little sister's father-in-law here just randomly today for the first time. And because of that, Mississippi is such an intimate place, and there's so many of us that have so many different perspectives. But I naively, for better or for worse, still think that there's so many things that are putting us together and keep us in a place that is common, and families are definitely one of those places. And so I'm thankful for the opportunity to represent this award and what it means. I had an opportunity to really read about Rusty, and I'm very honored to be associated with his name. And so just really want to give kudos to Families as Allies for everything that they do, and working with Dorothy, and hopefully there's a lot more great things for Mississippi ahead. So thanks very much.
And thank you for mentioning Rusty, and I neglected to say, and I'm sorry. Our first award was named after Helen Reddy Johnson, who was one of our board members who exemplified what it means to care about families. And she loved young people. And Caitlin, she would be telling you to go as far as you can, telling your story and helping people understand mental health. And our second award was named after Rusty Turner, and his wife Kim is here tonight. Rusty did a whole lot of legal work for our organization and helped us understand the importance of having really good policies and personnel practices. And he was getting ready to come on our board when he died unexpectedly, but he did so much for us. And I think people have heard me say year after year, he did so much for my own son. So we love him very much. And thank you, Julio, for recognizing him. And I think Rusty would be really happy tonight because it's not just his award that he helped bring about, but we also, his firm, Balch and Bingham, has continued to do a lot of work for us with Pepper Crutcher. He's just been amazing, and you've been, I don't know if anyone could be more patient with me than Rusty, but you've certainly been as patient. And
I learned from him.
Yeah, he was great. And you have been wonderful. And Balch and Bingham this year donated, and this is a huge, huge thing for a nonprofit the size of ours. They donated 50 pro bono hours to us this year, and we're going to use it to work on more of that personnel stuff and getting all that in line. And that makes a really big difference in a nonprofit to be able to function in a way that we're supposed to be functioning. And that means that dollars that come in for our programs, we can put towards programs and not putting out fires. So I'm so grateful to you, Pepper. You've been great.
And I really enjoy the fact that Rusty got us going in this direction. I have clients who pay me very well.
We're not one of those.
And I have clients who involve me in the cutting edge of science and technology. some names you would recognize who throw things up into space and bring them back down. But I don't enjoy working for anybody else more than I enjoy working for you.
Oh, thank you. Let's step that way so she a little bit. You mean, thank you. They've been really wonderful. I know this so far has been very, very touching. And now I'm going to change gears just a little bit on our last award. I think, and I don't know how many people we have here from nonprofit world. Looking around. But, oh, Pam just walked in. I said, I don't know how many people we have here from nonprofit world. But Pam Dollar, and then Scott. So there are certain things in nonprofit world, and are you nonprofit? Okay. That you just, certain phrases or words you can hear that sort of strike terror in your heart, like single audit, lost inventory tag, anything having to do with grants.gov. And our last recipient is not here tonight, but we're going to talk about him anyway, because he moved to Georgia with his sweet, sweet family just a few weeks ago. But for me, one of those things that has just struck absolute terror in my heart at times is hearing on the phone that Jeff Ami from the Associated Press, you're nodding, you know, is on the phone and wants to interview you. Being interviewed by Jeff is like, and I've told him, I put this on his Facebook page, and I think he thought it was a compliment, and I really did mean it as a compliment. I told him that being interviewed by him is like being interviewed by a machine gun, a very accurate, very smart, and very rapid machine gun. He really, really knows his subject. And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened in the mental health system the past few years, but especially the past year. He has done a tremendous job reporting on that and being accurate and objective, and both of those things were probably very hard in the midst of all that stuff. He also, there was a trial related to that, did a great job of tweeting from the trial and using words that people could understand so that people who were most affected by the issues of all these things that were going on could understand. And I think there was a lot of good press coverage, and I don't know if we have any other people from the media here tonight, but there was a lot of good coverage, and there was also a real commitment to getting information from the people themselves who were receiving services and what they thought needed to happen in the system. I know Jeff went to great lengths to do that, but nobody knew that until after he had already done it. And this is my favorite story about Jeff. Well, there's a couple. One was he's very smart, and I know he called me up one day and he was asking me some questions, and he really understands all the stuff that happens in federal court and at the legislature, and some of that kind of goes right over my head. And he asked me a question, and I thought I was answering it, but then he asked me, Joy, do you know what all those words meant that I just used? And I was like, no. So he very kindly explained, so I appreciated that. But one of the most touching things, there was something that was really hard to understand, or there were many things, but something, and he spent a long time talking to me about it to try to understand all the concepts behind something that happened. And anyway, I always take those opportunities in talking to reporters to let them know what we as an organization and kind of what I think should happen, and I did that. And so then the story came out, and it was very fair, it was very objective, and I could tell that Jeff had taken that information and used it and fact-checked it and all that, and wrote an objective story based on it. And he asked me what I thought about the story. And I told him, well, it was very accurate, it was very fair. Hey, Emil, it was very, objective. And I said, but I really wanted you to tell everybody what I thought. And I said, but I know that's my job, right? And he didn't really smile, but he kind of nodded. So anyway, Jeff is not here tonight because, like I said, he's moved to Atlanta with his family. But we do want to recognize and thank him for all that he's done. That concludes the program part of the evening. We want, does anybody else have anything they want to share? Okay. Every once in a while, someone's piped up with something. So we just invite you. This is a partnership celebration. We are so excited about all the different people that Families as Allies seems to bring together. We invite you to just spend the rest of the time visiting with each other and getting to know people. And don't forget, if you want to make a donation, Sheldon can help you with that. And I want to thank all of you again for being here tonight. Thank you.